Hi, welcome to Flute Topics, interview program covering all things flute. I'm Helen of Helen's Willow, and along with my parrot lady there, I am thrilled to have Tommy Graven with us today. Hi, Tommy.
Hey there, Helen.
How are you doing today out there in Oregon, right?
Yeah, I'm in Ashland, Oregon. Yeah, we're doing fantastic. There was the fires for a while, and it was pretty smoky, but things are calming down,
Okay,
and yeah, so things are good. Things are really good.
that's great. Yeah, I watched some of your videos on that and sent you good blessings and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, I would love it if you would tell folks how you came to the flute because I love your backstory. It's a great
Okay.
one.
Sure. So it's pretty interesting. I've been a musician my entire life. I'm 41 years of age now, and I've been playing the guitar since I was I think, about 12 years old. Yeah, about 12 years old. And I played guitar for years and years and years and played with all these bands. And just about was going to give up on music altogether after years and trying to do this and trying to be a rock star, I guess. So I sold everything I had and I went all acoustic. All I had was an acoustic guitar. And so I got rid of my electric guitars and my big amplifiers, and I just had an acoustic guitar. That's all I had. And I was writing songs and just kind of playing my guitar from time to time on the porch, and really wasn't playing music. Just kind of played it from time to time. And um, eventually, I put that uh, guitar on Craigslist.
Hmm.
I was going to get rid of it. Just like you know, I'm over it. I'm gonna go to work. You know what I mean? I'm gonna focus on other things. I'm just gonna do other stuff. Um, I got married to my incredible wife, Dallas, and when we got home from getting married, within about 4 days, something showed up on my porch, and my mother-in-law um, sent me a text message saying that, "Hey, I got something for you, and I really think that you're gonna like it, and I love you." Right? Her name is Lily Dean, and so here's this long triangle box on my porch, and I bring it in. I have no idea what this is, and I open it up and I look at it, and it's a native flute, and it's this one right here. This was my very first native flute ever. Little High Spirits A, Sparrowhawk, I think they call them. And that showed up. And um, at first, I kind of thought it was hokey, to be honest with you. You know, I am Native American, and my mother-in-law, I think, just really wanted, I mean, I'm Native and I'm a musician, and I think that she really wanted to do something nice for me. Um, and from the heart, And so I knew that's what it was, and I was very honored to have it. But at the same time, I just kind of thought it was hokey. I kind of thought of it as kind of like a recorder a little bit. I've liked the music and everything, but I really didn't listen to a lot. And so I have a little corner in the house that we were living in then, and it was my little kind of altar, I mean, my little native area, where I'd go hang out with my dad. My dad's no longer here, and I'd go there and hang out with him and smudge and pray and drum and hang out. You have a little ceremony. And on the way to go put my native flute next to all that stuff, I played it. Um, and I'm a musician, so I definitely had a head start. But I just played it. I just picked it up and I just played it on the way to go put it away, kind of for good, kind of to like, all right, I'll go put this over here and I'll smudge it, and you know what I mean, and I'll pray with it, and it'll just kind of be a part of that area. You know what I mean? That was the idea. And so I played a little bit and da 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 da, and just about to put it away, and right before it leaves my hand, my wife, I hear her kind of gasp and, "Honey, have you ever played that before?" And I go, "No, no, but it's a pretty simple." And I'm just, kind of knocking myself down a little bit, I guess, like I do sometimes. And she goes, I just, honey, I love that. I love that, you know. And she never really liked my big, loud rock music, you know what I mean? She always supported me in it, bless her heart, but she wasn't a big fan of it, you know. And she heard this flute, and she's like, oh, I just, something moved in her. And I saw that, and okay, wait a minute. So I picked it back up, and I put it on top of the TV stand. Didn't have a flute stand. Just put it on top of the TV stand, right on top of the little flute bag that it came with, so it wouldn't get scratched, right? So I put it on top of my TV stand. And I just kept picking it up. Every probably 25 minutes. I don't smoke cigarettes, but my wife started calling it my cigarette, because it was like every 25 minutes I just pick it up, you know what I mean? And I just go out back, you know what I mean? It was like I go out back for a smoke break, you know what I mean? And so I just kept playing it. I just kept playing it. And I had the little tie on the sixth hole for the longest time, you know what I mean? But you know, me as a musician, I had to see where it could go, you know. So I kept going with it. I kept going, and then I bought another one. I bought an E from High Spirits also, and I just started playing it, and it was still just kind of like it was just for me, you know. I didn't think about the whole dream of mine as far as in the back of my head, as far as being a musician for a living or anything like that. I really did give up on it completely and totally. I mean, totally. And now my biggest goal with music was simply just to be happy playing it. Because I've been so burnt out in the band situations and touring and the music business and all that kind of stuff. And so I just wanted to be happy playing it. And I think that's really, I mean, my wife supported it. She loved the music. And it really made me happy. I mean, I could really, I have a little fishing boat, and I love to go fishing, and I would take it on my little boat, and I'd be out there, you know, on some little mountain lake at 5:30 in the morning by myself, and I could sit there and really just be happy. Like, I could just play my flute, and like, oh, it'd get me emotional to thinking about it. Like, it really, you can just be happy. And when you could just be happy, you know, it's a kind of forced happiness that I really appreciate. It's like, I'm intentionally playing this flute because I intentionally want this and my flute and this to be connected, and I intentionally want it, want to bring joy to everything around me and myself. And it's like this bond that we're having, you know. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I found it. Like, I'm happy playing music again. I don't want to put this on Craigslist. You know what I mean? I want more of these. So I got another one. My third flute, my wife bought me a flute. I was like, oh my gosh, my wife just bought me a musical instrument. This is amazing. I'm going the right way. This is the right way. You know what I mean? And I just continued to just enjoy playing it, just solo flute. And I just enjoyed it so much. I remember thinking that that's all I was going to do. I was just going to play solo flute, and that's all I was going to do. I loved it so much. And then I recorded my album, my first solo flute album, Coyote in the Heart of the Monster, with help from my friend Patrick Brewer at Backline Studios in Portland, Oregon. And I released that, and I was so proud of it, and I still am. I love that album. And but then I realized I found something out about myself. I'm really hard on myself with stuff, and I wasn't satisfied with solo flute music anymore. And so I said, okay, let's get the guitar, and took that guitar off of Craigslist. I'm not even going to mess with that anymore. I have a guitar. I'm going to play it. I know how to play it. So I started writing guitar songs again. And that's how my first single came about, actually. Thunder Rolling Down the Mountain. And I I've always been kind of a heavy metal fan, you know, in the background, and you wouldn't think it, but Thunder Rolling Down the Mountain is deeply rooted in that for me. Just the guitar part and everything, um, and it's kind of a song that I've been writing for about 20 years in a bunch of different ways, and it finally found its way to live in the way that it lives now. And the release of that song, all of a sudden I heard myself. I'm like, that's me playing guitar. That's me playing flute. Then, of course, one of my best friends in the whole world, Bobby Gossett's playing fretless bass on there, and my friend Patrick recorded it at the same studio, and he played a little rattle. Um, but it, you know, I heard that and I went, oh, that's me, you know. And then once the video was released, that just took on a whole new life for me, and I mean, it got me noticed in this native flute genre, and it really just gave me the most confidence in the world, and I haven't looked back since. Ever since that's happened, I continued to work full time as a social worker for quite a while. Um, but then I just couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I just took the leap, and I've been doing music ever since.
You just couldn't
So
help it, huh, Tom?
I couldn't. I just, yeah, I couldn't help
Well,
it.
I want to give great thanks to your wife, Dallas, and your mother-in-law for getting you the flute so that we could all get Thunder Rolling Down the Mountain. And for anybody who hasn't seen that video yet, they've got to go to your YouTube. That is powerful without being overpowering. And you know, you said it has some of the heavy metal to it in your vibe, and that's probably why I like that. I mean, there's just something about it that just, you know, just grabbed me, and it's just like, oh yeah, I got to talk to
Yeah.
Tommy some more. So here we are. But you know, Tommy, as you're playing along and your flute, where do you go to find your inspiration? I mean, I've seen lots of pictures of you out in the forest and along the ocean and having a really good time. Is that where you go, or is it in here? Where does it start for you?
Yeah, that's a really big one for me. That I would say a couple different places. So I'm a big I love the nature thing. I love hiking. That's a big thing that me and my wife do. It's a big reason why we moved to this area, just because of that. We're right by Mount Shasta and everything like that. So I definitely like to go and camp and be in the woods and things like that and be quiet. And I'm actually planning a trip next week to go by myself and just to play some flute. Um, so I do that. But it's, I would say, like there's a song Hell's Canyon that I wrote. It's up on my YouTube with my band. That song's about 4.5 minutes long. That song took me about 6 minutes to write. Um, I don't know how that happened. That's also how the songs came out on Coyote and the Heart of the Monster. So sometimes it's from here. Um, but I think I made a mistake, and maybe not, earlier on. Is I used to have so much come from here that I was just like, I could just write music for days and days, and it was like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden it stopped coming. Maybe it was because of life. Maybe it was because, I mean, I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? Maybe it was just writer's block. Um, um, but that stopped. And so now it's just kind of every now and again. You know what I mean? I improvise all the time. But as far as something that I want to release and I'm like, that's it, I would say one out of 10 times does something lately for me is it coming like just improvised freestyle. Here it is. All right, it's awesome. Um, what I've been doing a lot lately is I listen to other artists. Um, you know, sometimes I'll put on shuffle play on all different genres of music that I like. You know what I mean? It might go from solo flute music to progressive 70s music, which I absolutely love. Um, to prog jazz, like bands like Weather Report and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And just all over the place. And every now and again, when you're doing the dishes or whatever it is, you hear something, and as soon as you get that in you, as soon as you feel that like uncontrollable, like I'm gonna dance, or I just want to talk right now, you get this energy that just pops up. Whatever that is, listen to that. All right, what song is this? Let's figure out what key this song is in. You know what I mean? Let's figure out exactly the chord progression of this song. Let's figure that out. We're not going to copy the song, but I like the feel that it gave me. So let's try to take that color out of that song, and let's take my own crayons and let's color. You know what I mean? And let's, like, all right, well, you know, so I do that a lot. And that's where I get a lot of inspiration. And that's where I mean, the record that I'm getting ready to release, because I'm recording right now, I would say that's where I got a lot of it. That's where a lot of that came from, is just listening to other music, and I'm a big music nerd, so I just really get after it and just kind of figure out what they're doing a little bit, and then just kind of take my own spin and just go for it. And to me now, I've been saying this lately, and I hope I'm not, but to me there's no such thing as writer's block anymore. Because I get to pick and choose, you know what I mean? And so, all right, I want to write a song. Like, to me, if I really want to sit down and write and record a song in one day, if I want to and I put the work towards it, I can do it. I just gotta listen to music, get inspired. Okay, here it comes, here it comes. And now, because I'm doing that and I have faith in myself to do that, every now and again, those heart songs just pop out. Like, hold on, taking that one, take a break on that one. You know what I mean? Let's go back to this one, because these are always the best ones. The ones that just come to me are always the best. The ones that you put work towards and really like create something from nothing kind of thing, like you're really building blocks, those are great too. I love both processes. I think it's music. There are no rules, but then there's a whole bunch. So it just depends on what you want to do, So yeah.
And do you play every day?
No, no, I don't. I do something towards music every single day. If I don't have a student, or something like that, then I'm doing something towards the business side of it. But I would say at least 5 out of the 7 days I'm doing something. And what, I like to practice my scales. I like to practice my breathing techniques. I'm a big fan of doing really, really long runs in one breath. So I like to go, but then control that so it could come out kind of like a balloon, you know what I mean? Just a little bit at a time, you know what I mean? But really still powerful and controlled. I don't do the circular breathing technique that a lot of people do, like a on a didgeridoo. That's how you keep it going nonstop, right? It's the circular breathing. And I've seen some folks do it with the native flute, and it's amazing. I just don't do it because I don't know how.
Do you want to know how? I mean, you're so curious about it all.
I've tried it. I've tried it before, and I know how to do it. I mean, so I guess I do know how to do it, and I could do it a little bit, but it's just you have to. It's muscle memory and retraining the way that you do things. You're gonna breathe out while you're. It's very difficult. So the people that do it are incredible.
Well, your long runs are incredible, and bless your lungs for being as powerful as they are. And it is that control that you have. It's magnificent.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I first came to you was before the video Thunder Rolling Down the Mountain. You were playing in that church space with the band. And I thought that was great fun too. Are you still playing with them?
Yes. I mean, not like we were. My band's called The Ceremony, and I formed that band right before this big show that I had actually in Portland, and it's in this amazing venue in Portland that I've always wanted to play. And I put this band together, and I contacted them, and they said, "Oh yeah, come on." So I put this band together. That band that you see on the YouTube, that's a 5-piece band, and we only practiced 3 times before we did that. And what that taught me is true professionals. I've been in a lot of bands, and when you get a bunch of guys together that just want to play, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, but it's a lot more like poker night. You know what I mean? When you say, "Hey, would you like to play a show? This is how much you get paid." To a professional musician, they go, "Let's see if I'm free." and it happens, and they're professional, and it just took off so amazing. So we're not playing right now because of COVID. I'm also in a different town than everyone else right now. But the idea is, I mean, they are the West Coast band. So anything that we do on the West Coast, and most likely anything in the U.S., they've all agreed to be on board. And since that incarnation of the band, we've actually added a piano player, which is on the newest album. But he's not on the video. But yeah, and he only practiced the night before the studio. So he was given this CD, and he goes, "Okay," and he practiced the night before the studio and went in. They're all pros. They're much, much, much better than me. I just wrote the music. They figured it out and handled it. I mean,
Well, give them my regards, because that is what caught my eye about you, because Thunder Rolling Down the Mountain hadn't come out yet.
yeah.
And that was when I first noticed you, and I was like, wow, I got to see more about this. And then we sort of got in touch, and it was really great. But when you started, you said that, it was like your wife called it your cigarette, and you'd go out every 20, 25 minutes to play and stuff. And I think everybody who first gets into the flute, or, if you're into horses, or you're into, anything that you're passionate about, we tend to do that. But you, with your music background, were able to keep taking it and adding to it, and building this whole studio around you. And I must say, your workshops are fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think the really big thing with me is, and I'm finding this out more and more, is I'm a perfectionist in a lot of ways. Sometimes it's bad, but sometimes it's good, and I'm really trying to take these flutes to a level that they've never been before. I mean, I had offers to make videos in the past for Thunder Rolling Down the Mountain and stuff like that, and I wouldn't do it. Once I met my friend Carl, I saw his other videos, and I go, "Oh, that's what I want. I want that." You know what I mean? So I just want it. I want it to be at this huge level. I want the production level of it to be at a really high level, because I just think that that the flute is such a special instrument, and that it just doesn't have to be used only this way. I think that in 10 years we'll literally be seeing people play jazz fusion on these things. I really do. I'm trying, but I really think that's going to happen. I'm seeing just the most incredible things happening. There are so many flute players out there now that just play so much better than me, with so much more intricacy and so much more dexterity. And it just really reminds me of, I used to skateboard and ride BMX bikes, you know what I mean? And then I stopped for about 15 years. And then I got one again just to kind of go to the skate park and hang out with my friends. And then I went to the skate park, and all these kids were doing the things that I would do on video games that I would play. So I think that's going to happen in the native flute world too. And we're just going to see this instrument grow and grow and grow and grow. And I just really want to be a part of that.
Me too. And I love watching where you're going. But before I let you go, when you first started all those bands, all those many years ago, what tip could you give flute player, guitar player, it doesn't matter what somebody's playing, or even if it's a different subject. What was it in your practice that kept you going from day to day to day so that you didn't put it down? Besides the passion, what kind of, I mean, it's a headset of wanting to move forward, or you got that flute and every 25 minutes you pick it up and say, okay, walk off. Okay, now what? I mean, how do you encourage people who are starting out who, oh, they're all excited, but then they get the squeaks and the this and the that. How do they proceed?
Number one thing, easier said than done, is really believing in yourself. That to me, that is the number one hardest thing about being a musician. It's harder than everything else. Practicing is hard. Learning the business of it is hard. Learning how to teach is hard. Everything is hard. But the absolute hardest thing that no one can really tell you how to do is to believe in yourself. And set small goals. I heard recently, try to get 1% better today than you were yesterday. You know what I mean? If you can make that low note squeal a little bit less than you did yesterday, I would say you're getting somewhere. I mean, really, because I mean, it's just the little things, and we're all our own worst critics. We're all really, really, really hard on ourselves. And I think that's the most thing, you know what I mean? It's having fun. This is fun. You know what I mean? That's what this is. This is fun. If you want to be a rock star with it, you can, you know what I mean? But it's just 1% at a time, and be inspired and have fun and learn patience, and I mean, I do lots of things, we all have our own vices, if you want to call them that. I walk a lot, you know what I mean? I sit down a lot. It sounds like you do yoga. Be balanced, you know what I mean? Breathe, do things that make you happy. Create that environment, you know what I mean? Create that environment that's going to breed inspiration and motivation, and have fun with it and treat yourself good. I really think that's a big thing. I have a song called Permission that's going to be coming out soon. And I just say, give yourself permission to love yourself and to be sacred for who you are, because no one's going to be you as good as you can. That's impossible. No matter what they tell you, and they will tell you, because that's what they do. But no, I mean, just treat yourself well, love yourself well. Happiness doesn't fall from trees. We got to create it every day, and I think the more that we're just confident and okay here, the rest comes. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we could practice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could practice. Practice makes progress, right? We could all practice, but the rest of it is just. It's just here. It's being here now. It's feeling the feet on the ground. It's feeling me in the chair now, and being okay with that. That's. I mean, I'll try to force it all the time. And if I sit here in this chair in front of my studio, this is where I sit in front of this microphone right here with my flute, and this is how I record all my albums right here. If I sit down and saw something on the TV, or it's too hot outside, and whatever it is, if I'm not there, whoa, I'm gonna back out. You know what I mean? Because I want to enjoy it. If I'm not being forced to do it, then So yeah, I just be kind to yourself, and the rest will come. Absolutely.
Tommy, that is just beautiful advice, whether it's the flute or otherwise. Because we are tough on ourselves, and nobody, like you said, is going to do us as well as we do ourselves.
Yeah.
That's just a beautiful sentiment. I love that. And I thank you for joining me, and I look forward to you being on my guest speaker program with some of my students as well. And of course, all the things and projects that I'm hoping you will help me with in the future. And I can't wait for your next video. And anybody who hasn't seen your other videos, I suggest they go do that. I will have that on the end credits where they can find you. And I thank you for
Well,
coming
thank you.
on.
Well, thank you so much, Helen.
Okay. Well, take care, and I hope to see you all again on our next Flute Topics. Thank you.